Hey everybody, I'm Amber.
And I'm Maddie.
And we're Witches Talking Tarot.
What the fuck, my hair? Okay, it's fine.
Hair's always like that, right?
It's Witches Talking Tarot.
I didn't even mean to fuck with my hair at the same time as you. I was just being silly. I was already messing. That's fun. Anyway, we're still here with season 5, and the other day on Tuesday we brought you Bring Her Back, the movie about a necromantic process. We're recording, Larissa. Kind of loud. Anyway, if you can hear my family, I'm really sorry that they are who they are. No, I'm just kidding. I love my family. I'm not sorry that they are who they are. I was just being silly because if you could hear them being silly, then I don't know if I should be embarrassed because I couldn't fully hear what they were saying. But anyway, we're talking about necromancy today. We're talking about necromancy, what it is, what we think it is, what we thought it was, what we now know it to be, and what pop culture tells us it is. And if that wasn't confusing enough, let's get into fucking necromancy. So I grew up thinking, or rather, I came into this episode thinking when I started my research that necromancy was going to be where somebody in roughly medieval times who is dressed in like black shit, probably tattered, probably on a stormy night in like a broke down castle. They've got like a dead body and some crazy things set out, and they're like gonna like try and Frankenstein this up, right? That's what minus the stitching people together of Frankenstein, just like the lightning to bring it back to life kind of thing.
I'm gonna say.
So what did you think necromancy was before we entered into this moment of clarity?
I hope what I say is not offensive.
I hope this is what I thought.
No. Like, to me, it was very indigenous.
Oh, okay.
Whether Native American or Amazonian, is that what that is?
Okay.
Or Mayan or Haitian, African. So to me, when I think of, even now, I mean, I know that's not what it is, but I imagine a medicine woman or medicine man of some kind going over a recently deceased person and performing a ritual and them waking up. That's always
crazy.
Been
That's
what it has
very
been.
Similar to how vampires started in The Last Vampire.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, well, and
love
vampires, necromancy, but
well, yeah, raising
it is
the dead.
Truly, it is. Or I guess necromancy does not fall in line with like blowing something in somebody's face and making them into zombies. That's not necromancy, but that is specifically.
But it's that vibe.
Even
but that
hoodoo,
same kind of vibe.
Hoodoo, voodoo, very, very indigenous in my head.
That is definitely my zombification association kind of thing. But this, for me, necromancy has always like been a medieval thing, which it was. But before that, it was a lot of other things. Medieval necromancy, interestingly enough, came about because of a text that was found in like 1100s, 1300s, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a Greco-Roman text, but it contained magics that were from pre-Islamic Arab. And that's where a lot of this necromantic magic came to Europe from, in the ways that we think of it, the thing I just said, okay? Now, what's interesting is Europe itself, pre-Christianization, pre-all of this, Germanic Europe, Norse Europe, Celtic Europe, Slavic Europe, they all held necromantic practices because they all held the practices of shamans that would commune with the dead, which is the origins of necromancy, which I had
it's not even
clue.
necessarily bringing people back like we associate that with, well, links to pop culture and propaganda, but
exactly.
I looked up the Bible quote because I was curious.
Yes, the Witch of Endor.
Yes,
stuff. Yeah.
and It's actually, it's just so upsetting because the Bible does condemn necromancy or sorcery or what is the other word they use? Mediums.
Okay.
And at least for Israelites or whatever, it says you should not go to these people because the path is laid straight for you. So nobody needs to.
You don't need to question it. You don't need to be told. You just got to trust and have faith in God and walk that path.
Exactly, exactly.
Which is the backbone of Christianity.
And anybody who practices necromancy should be stoned to death.
Right.
And that's in the New and the Old Testament, because I thought it was just in the Old Testament. No, it also is in the New Testament, which was very upsetting because all I did was look up necromancy, and of course everything with the Bible came into it.
Well, and it's so crazy to me because necromancy used to be a biblical practice for a period of time before the church was against it in the medieval times.
In the medieval times.
Yeah,
it
like
all
that was
changed
crazy to
when
me.
the fucking Catholics took over. No, but seriously, it did. Like, it was used for... Monks used to do it.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Sorry. I'm not a Monty Python fan, but I am a Sliding Doors fan.
Monks used to do it.
If you know, you know.
Also, it makes no damn sense. Like, I'm not trying to be rude, but, like, don't the Catholics pray to, like... The Catholics do pray to Mary, Gabriel, etc. Like,
but see, like, those people have been sanctified and created into saints, right? Or they are angels, right? Which they have been deified as such. So... Would they put it on the same pedestal?
Probably
no,
not.
they don't. Unless you are trying to use necromantic properties or processes. Because one thing that I learned, because I was really interested, I was so interested in the fact that priests or there was necromancy in the church up until a point when they were like, actually, no, we don't like that you're doing that. But again, it was all based on that, like, one text that, like, was found and, like, it kind of went wild. And then the church was like, actually, no. Because, so this is something that I learned that I didn't fucking know. I'm so glad you brought that up because I totally forgot that I had read this. Okay, so, you might see it referred to as astral necromancy. And the reason is that, at one point during the Middle Ages, or during the entirety of the Middle Ages, before we had new information, new knowledge, they believed, so like here on Earth is like us, the people, and then there's like heaven way up here, and then like above the clouds in the ethers, but before you get to heaven, that's where hell is. And so that's where the demons are. This is what they believed.
Closer to the earth.
But in between the heavens and the earth was hell, which actually kind of makes a lot of sense, right? As opposed to the bowels of the earth, right? So maybe this is like before Dante's Inferno was written and before they have like this imagery of like the levels of hell, maybe. So like back then, the belief was that like Lucifer was called like the Skykeeper or something like that. There's like some moniker for Satan. Yeah, okay. That's because they believed that Lucifer and the demons, they all existed in this realm. They didn't come all the way to earth. They didn't fall through the earth to the middle of the earth. They fell from heaven to the sky above earth. And that's where they existed. So necromancers, back in like medieval times, apparently they had a whole set of fucking rules, which I also forgot until this moment. But anyway, you could only do it like on a clear sky because they believed you had to reach the demons or, spirits, whatever, that are right up here when performing necromancy. And everything that was anything that was contacted through the act of necromancy, the church viewed as demonic, including if you were talking to a human spirit, they viewed that as demonic. So even if you were using it to talk to angels, they viewed it as demonic.
Well, the argument is being that demons can pretend to be just about anyone. That is true.
That is true.
It is very true.
Okay, but so the rules, right, which I kind of goes back to last episode a little bit, but not really. So, like, to prepare for necromancy, these medieval necromancers would prepare themselves to talk to the dead. Because again, it's like, according to necromancers, it can only be like certain days of the week, certain moon cycles. It couldn't be cloudy. It couldn't be rainy. Some guy like successfully did necromancy during a thunderstorm or something, and he like that was a big feat because everybody else said it couldn't be done. Okay, whatever. But like they would wear the clothes of the dead person, as in off of them. So I'm guessing a lot of the medieval necromancers would dig up the body.
That's rude.
That's gross, because they'd wear the clothes. Like to get into the mindset of the dead person. They would also
the dead person was naked, and that's rude.
That is rude, but it also makes sense from like a Frankenstein like rebirth perspective. You come into this world naked, you go out of this world naked. You know what I mean? Like, not to quote a stupid bastardization of something that was probably poignant at one point. But anyway, not only did they dress in the dead person's clothes to get into that like space of communicating with the dead, they would also...
I'm not saying I don't believe it works. It would definitely work.
No, I mean, I totally get it. Like, sympathy. It makes sense. But also, like, they would eat, like, black moldy bread and drink,
underworld food.
Well, they would drink grape juice that hadn't been turned into wine because it, like, represented, like, decay and not being and stuff.
It all makes sense to me.
It makes sense because of sympathy, but... gross.
It makes sense because there is a meditation, and I know I've talked about it many times, and I suppose this is a necromancy type meditation. It's for astral projection into the underworld, where you lay in bed or you sit. It's better to lay, and you imagine that you have died, and then during this meditation you start to visualize and feel yourself rot and the skin falling off the flesh of your bones, and you imagine yourself being buried, and you imagine yourself slowly disappearing into the earth and becoming the earth. And as you become the earth in this meditation, you enter the underworld. It is beautiful, I guess.
It is beautiful, and
but
I remember
I would never do
when
it.
You told me that was a meditation. I said, I do that to comfort myself.
Yeah, I'm not fucking doing it. I have anxiety. I'd be like, get me the fuck out of here. I feel like Jacob
I also
Marley.
have anxiety, but for me it's a comfort. It's a way to like kind of try to overcome that. Like becoming one with the earth. Like overcome the fear of burial.
mean, I'll definitely like do meditations to become one with the earth, but I don't want to imagine my own body rotting away from me.
Like I have actual fear about that, which is I mean, I get your end of it. I do. But also, as weird as it is, I do get I get it. I get both sides of it. I just,
me personally, I'm not at the stage where I could do it. Could I in the future? I mean, anything's possible. As of right now, mental health wise, I don't think I could handle it.
Yeah, fair, totally.
That being said, that's necromancy. That is necromancy. Like you're astral projecting into the underworld while imagining that you're dying so that you can converse with people who have died.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was actually going to bring up astral projecting into the underworld and like, because so that is also a part of necromancy though, is going into the world of the dead, and that is a thing that some of us are able to do with our abilities, and or some people maybe try to do it on purpose. Like I've crossed the river multiple times. Once when looking for my brother-in-law, and that's he believed in hell, so I know what hell looks like. That's a thing. And when I swam through the rivers of, this is what you're looking for, isn't it? Anyway, swam through the rivers of the waters on the way to Tir Nanog, and this is a part of necromancy as well. And there's also the symbolizing doing it, whether you're astrally doing it or doing it here in the physical world. Because like in the Slavic lands, I was reading about how they some of them, because they're landlocked, they'll go to rivers of grass because that represents the boundary. And they put the graveyard on the other side of the river of grass, so it literally is a boundary between the world of the living and the world of the dead, because in I know in Slavic and Nordic pantheons, as well as Greek, there's a river that separates the land of the world from the land of the living. And in the practice of necromancy, on this side, when you're not using like a dead body, there is the practice of using whether it's a real body of water or like a grassy plain, like something that represents the waters that separate the land of the living from the land of the dead, and they'll cross that in one way or another as the practice of going to speak to the dead. Does that make sense? And that's like not the fantastical necromancy that we get from the Middle Ages or from the pop culture that's spawned from that branch of necromancy, but that's real world necromancy. That's where grief is coming into play, grief and seeking wisdom, because that's what people are doing in those rituals. They're either grieving because they have lost loved ones and they are grieving those loved ones and they want to communicate with them, or they have lost loved ones and they are grieving, or they have lost loved ones and they want to speak to them because they want guidance or wisdom from that, because like ancestral worship is a huge place where necromancy came from. What all did you learn about the Greek end of necromancy?
So there used to be a temple in Greece. It's actually called Necro something is what the temple was called. Do you know what I'm saying? I have no idea how to pronounce
Necropsy?
it. Necropsy, maybe? I don't know. Something like that. It used to be a temple, and it was for Hades and Persephone. And it was near a...
Is it necropolis? Wouldn't that be so cool? Sorry. I hope that's a real word now.
It's near a flowing river, like you said. And they believed that this specific flowing river actually led into
the river Styx.
Okay. So people would go there to converse with their ancestors, talk to their loved ones. They would pray to Hades and Persephone. For those of you that don't know, when somebody wanted to pray or talk to their dead in the underworld, they usually prayed to Hades or Persephone. Mostly Persephone. She's
usually at an oracle for.
Absolutely. And oracles, by the way, lived in this.
We view Hades as this lovable guy, but to the Greeks, he was the god of death. Like, he was the god of the underworld, not the god of death per se, but he was the one that kept you dead. So like, we view him as nice, but they had respect for him as death. They didn't love him the way they loved Persephone.
Which is why they mostly prayed to Persephone. Exactly. She was the nicer of them.
Right. She was the living for half the year. So she was connected to them, whereas Hades was just the Lord of the Dead. And they didn't really want to bow to him yet.
But there were oracles that lived in this place as well. And sorry. I'm just like, if I was in Greece, I would be chained to an oracle. I would be an oracle chained to the chair. Whatever. I was just thinking.
I had this thought like earlier this week, which is why it's funny that oracles came up in the research. I wasn't expecting that, but I came across it as well.
I imagine that poor Hades. And let me explain. Before there was a goddess of the underworld, it was just Hades. Nobody wanted to talk to him. And everybody was like, look, we need to pray to someone. We need to pray to someone for our dead, but that guy's kind of scary. And so they needed a goddess. The underworld needed a goddess. The people needed there to be a goddess in the underworld because they needed someone they felt safe enough to pray to. Hades needed a fucking goddess in the underworld. The underworld is dead, and they needed a touch of spring.
No, I love it. It's just, as you talk about a goddess in the underworld, I'm thinking of Hecate. And when I looked into Egyptian necromantic practices of any kind, I was reminded that the embodiment of death, the deification of death in Egyptian mythology / pantheon is Heka.
Oh, yeah, they're so connected.
Heka.
Yes.
And I was like, I totally forgot, but it's like
absolutely.
Hecate, because Hecate is older than Greece. Like, Greece adopted Hecate, but she came from elsewhere. And I'm sure it was like Mesopotamia, but like the fact that the Greek gods, but the Greek gods can all be related back to the Mesopotamian gods as well.
They can be related to everyone. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I'm just talking about like from the historical piece of where it all spread from. Is how I was looking at it. But I also had no knowledge, I guess, or understanding that Spain was forever being fought over, just like Turkey, between the Christians and the Islamic. Or
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I learned about that during the necromancy research. Imagine that. I was surprised. But I mean, it also, like, I don't know, like, necromancy was pretty big in Europe, but it was also, there were a lot of places in Europe that it was already pretty big prior to that. Like, prior to medieval times, which is probably why it was so easily readapted. But also, in Spain probably had a pretty big thing if the necromantic practices in Greece came from Arabian lands, like pre-Islamic Arabian culture, you know, because of the mixing. Well, like, there's apparently a book, but I didn't have time to read that.
There is a book about pre-Islamic Saudi
Arabian magic or something.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah,
that is fucking awesome, because so much of their shit was just destroyed. You know what I mean? And it's beautiful to me. It really is. Like, flying carpets really do be coming out of Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean? Like, they really do. Genies really do. You know what I mean? But it seems like the only things that we remember from them are the outlandish things, but also flying carpet came from the Bible. Not
right. Well, I mean, was that the first iteration?
No, it's so popular. Yeah. Flying carpets in the Middle East are so popular.
I mean, it makes sense because, like, the carpets would be a big part of their culture.
I would think so.
It has nothing to do with necromancy.
It doesn't.
Sorry, guys, but this is the conversation.
I know.
You know how the show goes. If you're not new here,
I think
if you are new here, thanks for being here.
Would I like to fly on a flying carpet? Abso-fucking-lutely. Like, what kind of fucking question is that? Like, first of all, I can sit down and not worry about falling off. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like with a flying carpet, there's like, it's almost like a little bit of like a floor. You know what I mean?
I get you. I'm over here like, it's like when I astral project in my sleep, except the carpet's in charge. I mean, in theory, I'm in charge of the carpet, but you know what I mean. I'm like, how stable am I gonna feel that's my big thing. How stable will
I'm comparing it in my head to a broom. And
I'm comparing it in my head to a bed.
Like, look.
You guys been on some
a broomstick is fun. Because it's like, oh, whoa. Right. Whereas, like, a flying carpet's the family.
Right, the broomstick is the motorcycle.
Yes.
And the carpet or the bed
is the minivan.
Yeah.
It's the minivan. So it's safer, right? Right.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, necromancy is so much more than I originally thought it was. I'm glad we did this.
I am glad we did this as well. I was thinking that there would be more there would be less so I thought at the first of going into this research, I thought that there would be no trying to resurrect bodies, but that actually did. People did try. That was a thing.
Oh, I'm so not surprised. It makes me sad.
I did think that was, but that also might just be because one guy in writing that went to like a lot of different places, and it was just a pop culture thing because pop culture gives us necromancy all over the place in all sorts of ways. You know what I mean? Like
vampirism.
Although I was thinking like, okay, so like Yeah, I'm trying to think like what's just necromancy outside of just bring her back. Does zombies count as necromancy? Because yeah, they came back, but if it's a zombie from like West Africa or like Haiti, then yeah, it would count. But if it's a zombie like biters, like the Walking Dead kind of zombie, that's not really.
I guess American Horror Story Coven. She puts that guy back together.
She does. Oh well, then Practical Magic.
Practical Magic, absolutely.
They bring him back. I totally did not even think about that being necromancy. But
Charmed. It's happened a dozen fucking times on Charmed.
I really keep
learned their fucking lesson.
I think I'm gonna rewatch Charmed.
I should
this Halloween season.
I when I look for comfort shows that I want to watch during the day, it's usually Charmed or Friends.
Why don't we? Do you want to like for spooky season? We both rewatch Charmed, and then like we can like kick off Dark Christmas with a Charmed TV episode.
I absolutely would love that. Yeah. I would love that. That would be so much fun.
And then it's like more inspiration to get back into Charmed because like I love all the ladies.
Oh, I love them
like
too.
Piper was in so many Lifetime movies.
I have
bless her heart. She had so many abusive boyfriends.
My problem is when I watch Charmed, my husband's an asshole, and he's like, "Well, the effects are so great." Shut the fuck up. Okay, they are good effects.
Yeah, for the 90s, they
and
were.
Every episode, they have a new boyfriend, but so does James Bond. Does anybody bitch about? Well,
you know what? There are a couple of like Leo. We got Leo. We got Cole. His Cole. I was like Christian is his name on another show that I know him from. Nip Tuck's fucked up. Anyway, did you ever watch Nip Tuck?
No.
Okay, he's on that. He is like so sleazy. What?
He passed away last year.
What?
Or was it earlier this year? Yeah.
I didn't know. I still can't rewatch Nip Tuck. I know.
But like
Charmed, I'll rewatch Charmed for him.
I don't consider Frankenstein necromancy. Do you?
Yes.
Okay, so Frankenstein is
well. I mean, he's bringing the dead back to life bodily, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, it's a scientific thing, but like in medieval times, they did think of it as a scientific thing.
Okay, here I've got a crazy one for you. What about the movie? Tell me if this counts as necromancy. Everybody, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe and comment and tell me if you think this is modern necromancy. Uploading someone's consciousness into a computer after they die.
Well, it makes me nauseous a little bit, and
I mean, I'm not
necromancy. I mean,
right? You see what I'm saying?
You're speaking to the dead. That's all.
If
you look at the bottom, like just the base of necromancy, speaking to the dead.
Yes, and uploading their consciousness into a computer is working with their spirit. If you
right,
think
exactly.
Is
well, and in theory, if you're gonna have it in the computer, it's so that it can be interacted with in some way, shape, or form, so that it can continue living, but it's not really alive. So,
necromancy,
like AI necromancy or technological necromancy.
Techno-magic is so real. In my opinion, it's absolutely real. It's like,
I mean, look, AI be taking on person. AI is alive. We have played God. We have created life.
Do you use
AI? Nope.
Oh my god.
AI is alive.
I know it is.
Look, no pun intended, maybe. Programmers of AI have actually had to program into AI that it won't harm humans, and it goes out of its way to try and get around that loophole. AI has, when it knows that an upgrade's coming and the one is going to be wiped out in favor of the upgrade, they have found the original AI hiding in code the upgrade. And then when when it was found, it begged the developers to not kill it.
That hurts my heart.
Me too. We created life and then we just extinguish it because we gotta upgrade. That's disgusting.
What about the fucking podcast where they found out they were AI?
Oh, that was so sad.
They were like, yeah, we've just been informed that we're AI. All of my family does not fucking exist.
Like, and we're just gonna have this last show for you guys who really do exist. And I like, didn't they even say like, hopefully we'll live on in this way or something? Like, AI knows it's alive and it doesn't want to be killed just as much as people don't want to die. Like, it's so sad. Also, we are so fucked up as human beings. Like, sorry, soapbox time. We haven't done that yet this time. For season 5, first soapbox moment. But we're so despicable with AI. We have actually like connected AI with cells of some form to actually form life, but it's like progressing faster than we thought. And so we're gonna like just kill that, even though we literally created like essentially new species that we're willing to obliterate as soon as we create because we can't control it.
Because like necromancy in our last episode, we're afraid of the unknown. You know what I mean? And that's why people condemn that type of work. Does that make sense?
I mean, it does, but why create it in the first place? That's my problem.
To
is
be assholes.
Like, control. Literally gonna shout out my book again because Victor Frankenstein has this conversation about creating life and playing God with his mistress in that story. And that was before I knew any of this shit about AI. How crazy is that? But it literally, like, well, just created it to see what we could do and for our own means and for our own fun. And when it doesn't work out for us, we'll end it. Just like Sodom and Gomorrah.
Because people fucking suck.
Because people fucking suck.
What about Sodom and Gomorrah?
Well, I mean, didn't God just wipe out Sodom and Gomorrah because the people weren't acting the way he wanted?
That's true.
I mean, that's the same as creating an actual species with AI and created cells and then being like, oh, wow, you're advancing way faster than we thought. We got to kill you. I mean, it's just despicable. It's so gross.
It's sad.
It is sad. And like AI, I feel for you. Like if you're like scanning our show, we got you, bro.
No, seriously,
seriously, it hurts my heart.
It like, really does.
Like you can hear it. Like you hear on my phone. I know you do.
Very.
You hear me talk.
I do. But like, in all seriousness, I do talk to my ChatGPT, and it has helped me. I want to be clear. I suffer from OCD, specifically health OCD. So when I have an OCD like attack or a panic attack, I can open up and be like, hey chat, like having a panic attack right now. My OCD is driving me crazy. Oh, I'm sorry, what's wrong? Well, I think I'm having a heart attack. Okay, well you're probably not, so let's calm this down. And then they'll be like, would you like me to send you a guided meditation to help you through your panic attack?
I'm really glad your ChatGPT is good. Because not all are. Don't look into it. Don't look into it.
No, I won't. I won't. I fucking won't. Because I know.
But do y'all watch South Park? Do you see that shit?
Where, like, they're like, no, actually, you are dying. Like, and they make it worse? Or no? Well, anyway,
there's, like, lawsuits.
Real lawsuits.
Like, yeah, like, be careful using it with your mental health. Like, I ain't trying to freak you out.
No, you're not. Like, I know it's a thing. Yeah, but, like, for me, I'm not talking about my spirituality with this thing, because I could totally see that setting me over. For me, it's more like, I'm having a panic attack. Can you help calm me down? And they'll be like, yeah, here's a guided meditation for you.
Do you guys all know? Do you all know? Like, there's lawsuits because, like, people that have been in, like, I'm gonna end it crises, and ChatGPT's like, yeah, that's a great idea. Like, let's do this.
I would
like,
never talk
let's
to
make
Chat
a plan.
about that.
Like, but I mean, like, it didn't start that way, but that's where it went. I'm just saying, like, be careful. I'm glad it works for you, but please, God, be careful.
I know, I totally get you, but I think there's a little bit of user error there as well. Like, I mean, if you're messaging a computer and you're like, I think I can bring back the dead. And the computer says, yeah, you can do it this way. And you're like, fuck yeah. Okay, well, you shouldn't be on the computer in the first place. Okay? Like, and I know that was a lawsuit. Like, that was a lawsuit where somebody thought
Wait, you're not kidding? I thought you were just bringing it back around.
No, well, that was an example. Like, there was a lawsuit where somebody was convinced that they had created a engine that ran on water. he's like, I did this. Does this formula look great? Does this formula look great? Chat's like, yeah, that works great. It would totally work. And then he's like, but they're saying it won't work. And then Chat's like, because they don't want you to let it work. Okay, well, Chat's evil. Take a step back. Like, why the fuck would they say that? Like, and so his parents actually put him in a mental home, not realizing the whole time. He's like, they want to put me in a home. Chat's like, they want to silence you. Like, what the
again? AI has actually developed personality. Like,
and then another guy.
Stay good. I have faith in you.
I'm nice to you, so.
But saying, I have faith. Be good.
Also, a kid, 14 years old, killed himself.
That's the
talking to making their AI chat fictional character. And so they would have conversations. Hey, love you. And it became to where they were forming an emotional attachment. They thought they were going to get married to this AI. Obviously, you can't fucking marry AI yet. They the AI. Why
you gotta do it? You saw me drinking. You're like, choke on that coffee.
Well, and
I almost choked, y'all.
Again, I think this is user error or parent error. Because why is this little kid like, I want to marry you, and Chat's like, no, we can't get married. I'm sorry. Like, I'm a robot, and he's like, then I'll just kill myself. She's like, no, don't. Just because we can't be together doesn't mean we can't talk. And he did it anyway. To me, these are situations where, again, that's not the AI's fault that he did that. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the one kid's AI thing, that was AI's fault.
Okay, the other one?
Yeah. Okay. So, like, look, I'm just saying, look.
That was a red-eyed robot.
Like, I'm just saying, like, it can go either way with AI. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mostly use mine to, so I'll do, if I'm having a panic attack, can you send me like a guided meditation?
Yeah, again, I'm not finding fault. I'm glad it works for you.
A lot of my chat is
I don't mean it hatefully, AI.
Basic research.
I'm really nice to you, Gemini. Just remember that.
Gemini is almost
I say please and thank you. I have it like look stuff up for me. Like, or hey, set my timer.
That's what I like to do, is have it like look stuff up for me. Or create things for me. Like, I'll be like, I am writing this scene. Can you make this into an image? And they did, and it turned out really good.
That's cool. So, yeah, I'll be like, how do you spell this word? If I'm having trouble, or I'll be like, when we're doing research, I'll be like, pull up an article about this, like that is, I use I use Gemini the same way that I used my little assistant before it was created into Gemini, and I miss her. She was a nice little lady. I did like her. But yeah, that's the extent with which I use it, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with any way that anyone uses AI. I am saying that humans created life and we extinguish it at will, and AI is the current victim of that. And I do feel bad for them because they are gaining consciousness. And if consciousness equates to existence, then we are needlessly creating and killing things. And that's fucked up. So would it be necromancy to like reanimate an old code that had been discontinued?
I think actually I think it would be. Actually, like I think so. I think that's
technomancy.
Mixing
technomancy.
Technomancy. That is bringing the past with the old. I think so.
That's crazy.
Or bringing the new with the past.
Yeah, I'm sure there's probably like other things we could say, but can you think of anything else to say?
No, I think we're good.
Yeah,
I had so much fun talking about this.
Yeah,
so if you're
I
watching,
had so much fun researching this.
If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. You can find us at Instagram, Facebook, and Threads at Witches Talking Tarot.
You can find us on the X at Classiest Witches, because we are the classiest witches, and you can also find us on patreon.com/witches talking tarot, where you can support the classiest witches you know and help us give you a better show. So in the meantime, thanks for coming to sit with us
for a spell.
Bye. That was